22, 2022, take 5.
First, we want to talk about
Grinch, August 1st, 2022, take 10.
So, first we want to talk to you about
Grinch, August 1st, 2022, take 18.
Now that we're talking about Christmas lights, let's go ahead.
Grinch, still August 1st, 2022, take 57.
Now that your lights are hung on your house, we want to talk about. I love that video. That was some fun I got to do with my daughter last year. She's not a camera person at all, and anytime I ask her to do something on the camera, she's like, no, not even doing it. And when we had a videographer last year, I don't know whose idea it was, but she's like, yes, I want to do it. I think it was the clappy thing. She got a little excited for that, and she's like, yeah, I want to do this. And she almost took my nose off in one of those shots.
That's awesome. I love that video. That's awesome.
Adam, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
You've got me in the spirit, and I thought I was in the spirit. You reached out to me a little while ago, wanted to do this live and talk about some SEO and digital marketing, Christmas. Then you shared the jacket with me this morning. Just got done doing about a 6-hour install with my guys, and I ain't gonna lie, man, I was just pumped, ready to get home, and just sitting by the clock waiting for this to happen. So welcome, Adam, to the show tonight. We're so excited to talk about some digital marketing, SEO, all the fun stuff that you're the resident expert in. Why don't you just quickly tell everybody who doesn't know who you are a little bit about yourself, your company, and what you do?
Yeah, man, and I'm super excited. Well, it's been literally sitting there all day, jam-packed day. I'm ready to go, and it was definitely eyed on my calendar too. So Adam McChesney here in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm an owner partner at Height Digital, so we're a full-service digital marketing agency. Do everything from logo branding, website design, search engine optimization, Google PPC, Facebook ads, you name it. In the digital space, we're there. We primarily work with contractors and home service businesses. Obviously, a lot of those businesses also do Christmas light as well in the service space. And I've also opened up a couple of companies on my own just from my knowledge of SEO. Been in the industry since 2018, but I also own an auto glass company and a landscape design company that literally weren't companies before we built a simple website and ranked it to the first page of Google. And now we do it for companies of all shapes and sizes. And I'll kind of be sharing a lot of those best tips, strategies, show you exactly how to do it. Like if you truly want to do it on your own, hey, here's all the secrets that you need to know. Here's what you need to be looking out for. And here's what matters most.
Awesome, man. Lots of great stuff. I've been on your podcast. You've been on ours within the Foxhole. Congratulations, new father. That's exciting.
Thank you. Yeah,
so
it's been good.
Yeah, first Christmas with the newborn.
Can't wait, man. It's going to be good.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, so you got a lot of impressive stuff going on. You talked about building those companies up from the ground and everything. And right now, as we know, we're in the mix of Christmas lights. It's the Christmas light season. I can't believe it. Next week is November 1st.
Crazy.
And, for those that are in the Christmas light industry, what November 1st means. Oh, boy, yeah. I'm going to have to – let me do this real quick. I knew that was going to happen. My camera – this is what happens when you use stuff that's not yours. So let me hold on. Excuse me. Angela's going to be like, I told you not to use my camera. There we go. All right. So I'm coming in right now. Like that. That's a lot worse. Woo. All right. We're going to wing it, though. We got this. Stuff that happens. You're on the job. You just got to make stuff happen. That's what we're doing, making it happen. So for all the viewers that are watching and streaming with us right now, please go ahead and let us know you're here. Let us know what industry you're in. Adam's got a lot of experience in tons of different industries, but for tonight, we want to talk specifically about Christmas lights. You just did something really cool with a Christmas light landing page, and we'll talk about that. But big thing, for the guys that are currently doing Christmas lights for a while, we know that SEO is important. And it takes time. It's not instant gratification. It's not like when we're going to hang up some lights tonight and turn them on. It's going to be, ready to go. And we have a lot of companies out there that'll say, yeah, we'll get you page one right away. And for you, if you've been in the game for a while, that's not true. That's not going to happen. So quickly, let's talk about SEO and the importance of hiring a company like yourself to get the proper steps in place to rank number one, or at least the first page.
Yeah, great question. And I think a lot of people, obviously with Christmas lights being seasonal, everybody waits until the last minute. So I know you see it in all the groups where everybody's like, hey, how do I get leads? There's more competition than ever before, and people aren't spending like they used to. Like, what's going on? And they turn to, Facebook ads or Google ads, which are great complementary pieces. But you have to truly, like 99% of the time, you treat Christmas lights different than your main business if you have another business. And so you have to treat your digital marketing that same way. And so that goes into creating your own website, which we'll go into here in a little bit. And then also feeding it and fueling it with that SEO. Because between the website and the Google business listing, for example, that are separate from your exterior cleaning or your landscaping or whatever other company you have, that needs its own energy and its own work being done to it too in order to effectively rank. And so some of those companies that you see that are just dominating year after year are the people that have been investing in SEO and doing it consistently. You can't just October come around and be like, you know what, I'm really ready for SEO again. And so what I did is I created this website to show you guys in real time, like, hey, get started on it right now. And we're already starting to get some traction, and I'll show you some of the traction. This website has been up for like less than a week, I think like 5 days right now. And we're starting to put actions in place and starting to get traffic to the site and all those things. But like this time next year, it's going to be a really cool case study for us to look back. You really need about a year's time of a brand new website. Now, this isn't to say if you have an existing site out there that like things aren't going to happen quicker, because they will. But these are things that you can be doing to build out what I refer to as your digital real estate online. So there's going to be a point in time, if you're going ham with SEO and you're doing all the right things, you might not need all of the Facebook ads and all of the Google ads and all those things that people will wait to the last minute, dump a bunch of money into it and be like, all I'm getting is people looking for free or cheap or their price shot, like all of those things. They're terrible clients. Well, this is a great piece for you to be able to have that you just got to treat it as your own business, a separate business from whatever you're doing throughout the rest of the year.
Right. Yeah. Not instant gratification, long term. Even if you're just starting right now, start building it out. And, I'd like to get, I'll tell you a story real quick. We were going to go to 2 different markets this year, and we knew that last year. So we started building up SEO in those 2 markets. I've had 2 different companies reach out to me in the last 4 months and say, hey, JC, are you doing lights in this area right now? I'm like, no, we were going to, but we didn't make the move yet. They're like, well, you're ranking number 1 in our area, and we want to know if we could buy the leads from you. And that didn't happen overnight, but it was literally last year, I'd say about July is where we started that SEO for this year in the hopes that we would move to that market. We did it, but it's paying off. So when we're ready to get down there, we're already ranking page 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Literally, I mean, when we started our auto glass company, we were getting 500 calls a month. So it's like day 1 of auto glass, we have 500 calls out there where stuff's already coming in. Our landscape design business, in the first couple months, we did over $200,000 in business, because it's like you're not waiting for projects sitting there. Now, the caveat is you got to go do all the other things like the networking and all the brand building and things like that on the side. But if you start a business and you generate business before you actually need it, that's a great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're just joining us, pop a comment below. We want to hear from you guys, girls. What you doing? Tell us about your company. Kaylin, first year light, 6 years painting. Awesome. Congratulations. Get into the light industry. I've talked to so many business owners this year that even like myself that hesitate for the right moment to get into the industry. And there is no right moment. There really isn't. It's just a matter of making that leap and doing it. But for those that aren't going to make that leap this year, you can still start being proactive for next year rather than being reactive late in the year next year. So the things that Adam's putting out today, be sure to take some notes and start talking to your company to start doing that. For those that are starting the Christmas light business and you already have a separate business, I personally prefer having separate branding. we have a pressure washing company and a Christmas light company, but I'm not going to call a pressure washing company to hang Christmas lights. And there's nothing wrong with that starting out, because we did that. The first 2 years, we were still Cape Fear Pro Wash doing Christmas lights. But as we realized we wanted to grow that brand and have that specific brand for the lighting experts in our industry, our area, we knew we had to break that off. So just take that into consideration as you're starting to build that brand. So we talked about SEO and things like that. What are some simple things that business owners can do if, let's say I have a company, I'm using you. What's some things that I can do to help complement what you're doing? Maybe with a GMB?
Yeah. So the GMB is probably going to be like the lowest hanging fruit consistently across the board. So that is getting Google reviews and quality Google reviews. So I know we've kind of talked about that before, I think probably on your podcast, of like, if you're going to get a Google review, yeah, it's great if you get 5 stars. But if we're talking about a quality Google review where somebody's like, man, I hired JC and JC came out to my house or my business and it's in this suburb, that's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about outside of St. Louis, quality job, whatever, X, Y, and Z. And then you respond to that review, that's going to be huge. So getting reviews, responding to reviews, quality reviews, absolutely crucial. And then making sure that you're adding photos or posting that Google business listing at least once a week, and just updating pictures of projects, completed jobs, things like that, and explaining a little bit about what was obviously going on. Super, super beneficial to the on-site SEO that we're going to talk about. And then combining all of those things with organic posting on social media, doing reels, doing videos, those types of things, because there's nothing better than if somebody sees a bunch of your stuff on, let's just say they are in the process of thinking about they're going to hire a Christmas light installation company. They type something into Google, they see your company there, they see your Google business listing, and then they're like, all right, you know what? I'm not actually going to ask for a quote today. But then they go on social media and they see their neighbors talking about you. And then all of a sudden they see your reel about how you did this cool structure of all these different lights and things like that. So it's a compounding effect as all these different things. A lot of times people need 6, 7, 8 different touch points. They need to understand who you are. These are just complementary pieces to really be able to tackle it from all different ends that you can be doing regardless if you're paying a company or not.
Yeah. And that really is such a strong statement right there about those touches. And we'll pay for Facebook ads, we'll pay for Google ads, and we'll like, oh my God, the ROI in this is awful. We're not getting people clicking on it and getting the estimates and closing those jobs. But it's not going to be that instant they see the yard sign that they're going to call us. It's not going to be the instant they see that Facebook ad that they're going to call us. It's not going to be us driving by with a trailer. It's a multiple of those things. But when they actually do go online and submit the estimate or the request for estimate, or they call, hey, how'd you hear of us? It's going to be the last thing they thought of. It's not going to be like, well, on June 14th, I saw a Facebook ad, and then I saw you guys, my neighbor, on August 15th, and then I saw a Google ad. It's going to be the first thing they think of. So when you sit there and say like, oh my God, I'm just wasting money. No, it's probably building up that momentum for that customer to just keep seeing that brand. And then when it's time for them to say, hey, now I need the service, then they're going to reach out to you. But you got to be consistent and persistent with that. And don't just stick to one form of marketing, because, what if your customer just doesn't go to the neighborhood you put up the yard signs at? Or what if they're not on social media? A lot of people aren't. So you got to have a diverse portfolio.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely like the yard signs, the direct mail, like whatever you're doing, the more, and then also tracking all of those things. So if you're talking about yard signs, you're talking about hangers, you're talking about different types of QR codes and things like that, just track everything. So that way you can get some of that data back into the funnel to know what's working and what's not.
Absolutely. All right. So what do you want to dive into? You want to bring up the website now? You want to go through?
Yep, absolutely. So we'll kind of just run through real quick. So before we get started on the website, a lot of times I get questions on what website platform should I build a website out on. So I'm going to show you guys this WordPress website. WordPress is typically the gold standard when it comes to ranking, generating leads, all of those types of things, because Google really likes it. And if Google likes it, then I like it. Another platform that we're seeing a lot of people use, and I built some website on that is more DIY and drag and drop, is a platform called Duda. So that's DUDA. Super simple and easy to use. It's got a lot of the same SEO capabilities and things like that. But a lot of times People will want to build out on a Wix or a GoDaddy or all of those types of things because it's super simple and easy to do. That's great, but just have the right expectations going in is that you're going to struggle to rank. You're going to struggle to dump money into paid ads and all of those things because, again, if Google doesn't like it, then you're going to be beating, your head against the wall. So a lot of people are like, man, I've been dumping all this money into SEO and all these different things. Well, it's like, I go back to the foundation of a house. If the foundation is faulty on some of those platforms, then you're trying to build a 2-story house on something that's going to crumble to the ground and not be what you think it's going to be. So making sure you do it on the right platform, I think is super, super key. And then people also overthink, well, what domain should I pick and all those things. There's not a right or a wrong answer. I typically go with a keyword plus a location if I don't have a brand like I'll show you here right now. And then what you mentioned earlier is having those separate brands and having those separate websites. If you try to add just a Christmas light page on your existing website, will it help and will it rank? Yes, but it's not going to be nearly as effective if you have a site like I'm going to show you where it's all Christmas light stuff. And then in the mind of the lead or the potential customer, they're like, wow, JC and his team or Adam and his team, like they are Christmas light installation experts, not just somebody that you mentioned earlier that's like doing pressure washing and they just so happen to also do that during the off season. You bring that exclusive like vibe to everything. So I just wanted to touch on that as well. I don't know if you have any questions on any of that stuff.
No, and I think that's, for companies that are just starting, obviously money is an issue getting the startup. And oftentimes I see companies go to Fiverr or those, just the cheaper ones to get a website built. And I strongly recommend saving up a little bit more money and getting a reputable company to build it, because I'd rather build something once, like you said, don't have that faulty foundation and watch it crumble mid-season. And Lord, you don't know what you're going to get when you're doing on those websites or those back-end sites, what they're going to be building for your SEO might get you blacklisted and all those things. So it pays to hire somebody that's got, just like you want somebody to hire you, that's got the reputation, that's got the reviews, that knows what they're doing in that industry.
Mm-hmm. And I think I always tell people as well is think about what you want your ideal clients to be. Everybody's like, well, I want my ideal clients to not be price shopping. I want them to buy my most exclusive package and I want them to not be, a pain in the ass. Right. Well, then it's like, okay, but if you're trying to be super, super cheap with some of your stuff, if you're, and I mean cheap by, if you're going to be the one doing the website, doing all those things, do it the right way or pay somebody to do it the right way, or at least put the time and energy into those things. So then that way you can extract out and get that high quality client. If you have a simple website that's one page or it's an existing page on your already existing site, don't be surprised when you don't get the lead flow or don't get the recognition or people don't look at you as like the number one Christmas installation company in your market. Like it's not going to happen. Right.
Kaylin has got a question for you, Adam.
Yeah. So thoughts on Go High Level. So if you're talking about building out a website on Go High Level, there are some of the capabilities that you'll be able to see within WordPress when it comes to an SEO format. There are great templates. There's great customization when it comes to building out a Go High Level website. But typically what we recommend is building out a website on WordPress and then having a contact form and all those automations built into that WordPress website, because that's really what Go High Level is really, really good at, is once a contact form comes in, then all the automations start to kick in. A lot of times people are like, no, just go build the website out on Go High Level. Not a huge fan of doing that for a lot of the reasons when it comes to SEO and ranking. Haven't done a ton of split testing side by side. We've just primarily used WordPress throughout the course of our agency journey.
All right. Great answer for that. And then Vince has got another question before we get into the website. On a landscape light building company. He wants to get into lights next year. He wants to know if, those with the more disposable, higher income are the ones that be installing Christmas lights. So yes and no. I have, and this is one of my favorite stories, literally gone to a single wide trailer and the lady loved Christmas more than she loved life. She saved $100 every single month to put $1,200 worth of Christmas lights on her house. I mean, a $1,200 ticket, this is 5 years ago, was a lot of money for our company when we first started out. So yes, the higher income clients will more likely have a more disposable income. It doesn't mean they're going to spend more money all the time, because I do have clients that, let's say the medium range, that love Christmas a lot more and just want to go all out. So it's Christmas lights is more of an emotional sale. Nobody needs lights. They want lights. So you really got to connect with your customer on that level first. But I'm not saying don't go after them, but don't limit yourself to just 500,000 plus and all that stuff income. So, all right. And then Kaylin said, thank you. Awesome.
Great question. Yeah, I'll share my screen here. Let me pull this up, and we will get rolling here. All right. So can we see my screen?
Yeah, let's do this. Boom.
Awesome. So good to go. Good to go here.
Yep.
So I just threw this thing together. I mean, I think I messaged you about it and then put it together. So this is a site that I put together like literally within 10 days just for a use of this case study. So some things that we'll talk about and JC, feel free if people are asking questions, or like if you're like, hey, I want to know more about that, like literally just stop me and we'll just kind of dive into it right then and there. Gotcha. The first thing is the URL structure, St. Louis Mo, Christmas lights, again, just more so of a keyword type of thing. Pick the brand Christmas lights of STL. Some things to consider. And again, obviously this is on desktop, so it's going to look a little bit different than mobile, but it's just call to actions throughout the entire website. And then when you go on mobile, for example, you'll see a floating phone number down here at all times, and making sure that like the first thing that they see up here is get a fast quote. Everybody wants fast, quick, easy, simplification. Those are types of things that you want people just to see all throughout the process, right? So super simple and easy to navigate. A lot of content on here because Google wants the content, right? There's two different points of thinking here as people are like, hey, I want super simple. I don't want a lot of words. Of course, because people don't necessarily want to read, but you also have to appease Google as well. So if you're appeasing Google, you're going to get more traffic and more eyeballs on that stuff too, right? So just call to actions throughout the fold. We're going to talk about some different stuff with headers and alt images and things like that. But like, again, just through this super simple and easy thing together in order to get this for this, and then to start ranking it and things like that. But just some, fake testimonials, all that good stuff. Also, having frequently asked questions is great as well. So like if people have questions about consultations, pricing, how early should I book, things like that, that's super helpful. And again, more call to actions and things like that down here. So based on the layout of this site, so if you're talking about, okay, how do I get the most out of my website? This is a 20-page website. So again, a lot of people want to build like 1 or 2 page websites. They want to build 3 pages. Like this is just 20 pages as I'm building it to show you guys like what a website on steroids could look like and what you can continuously go and add to do over time. So we have our homepage, we have our About Us page, and then we have individual service pages for both residential and commercial lighting. And then St. Louis is obviously a pretty decent sized area, but there's a lot of suburbs, and a lot of these suburbs do have those higher income people that are spending money, that are doing, spending a bunch on lights and things like that. So I broke down and did a page for each of these areas served, which are super, super impactful. And you want to make sure that it's unique content, that you're not just taking the content from Kirkwood and then putting it on Webster Groves and all of those things, because Google's going to pick up on that. So you do have to take the time to like really personalize some of this stuff as well. And then I just have a simple contact page, at the end of it. So as far as like the layout, structure, all of that stuff, JC, anything that you have questions on or any thoughts, things like that before I really start to nerd out here and talk about the nuts and the bolts of this?
Yeah, no, first question was, who did that sweet logo?
So that's what somebody asked. So I just went to Fiverr real quick and put it in. So then that way I just got something up. So that's all I did.
Yeah, because this was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And I love it. Just as soon as you popped it up, it's fun. I see snow falling. I see Christmas lights. Santa's having a good time over there.
Oh, yeah.
Right away you go into the quote. So it's simple. It's fun. and it's festive. That's what customers want. They don't want to go there and be like, I'm Ben Stein and we're going to hang your Christmas lights. So you got to get them excited. If you're not more excited than your customer and you're trying to present a $5,000, $10,000 estimate for lights, like they're not going to go with you. They're going to go with somebody who put the time and the energy to think about all these things.
Yeah, exactly. And really like diving into like all of those things is like a lot of people I see when I go to these websites too is like, they're like, oh, I want to rank all over St. Louis. Well, I was like, JC, like you might not know St. Louis, but like not everybody wants to do business in all of St. Louis. They want these suburb things. Well, if you don't have these pages on your website, like how is Google supposed to know that you want to rank there? You know what I mean? And so you have to like break it down to like a third grade level and like let Google know, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is where I'm trying to get business at. And so many people are like, this is not ranking, this is all those things. Well, it's because you don't have this stuff on your website. It's never going to do that. The evolution of this site, there are some more area served pages that we'll be adding. We'll also create a blog. Blogs are super beneficial for SEO as well. But then you can go super, super deep. And you can then build out a residential Christmas lighting page for Oakville, Missouri, and then a commercial page for Arnold, Missouri. So that way you start to rank for more keywords throughout the entire process, and you just go deeper than your competition. Because right now, I just launched this website. There's, freaking, I don't even know how many companies in St. Louis that are doing this. I have to think smarter. I have to go to I always use SEO as like the reference of going to the gym. I have to go to the gym with an actual plan of attack of what I'm going to eat, the workouts I'm going to do, how I'm going to mix cardio in there as well. And I have to follow the plan to a T, and I got to do it better, quicker, faster, and stronger than the competition in order to get results. That's what SEO is all about.
Oh, if you're going to the gym, man, you look like Arnold right now with this website.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Kaylin's got a question. How do you do that with that many areas? Kaylin, are you asking about all the different locations that he's posting for the different cities? What specifically? Unless you might know what she's talking about.
I don't, to be honest.
Okay. Kaylin, if you just want to clarify that, we'll get back to you on that one.
Yep. And so, like, you're like, okay, hey, this is awesome. This is pretty. But, like, you've all seen a nice car or, like, a super great car that, like, people don't drive, right? So I always refer to as, like, you can have the greatest looking website in the world. But if it's not on a technical foundation, like, you might as well just have that car or this website parked in a garage 364 out of 365 days of the year. So there's stuff on the back end that Google is taking a look at. And some of this stuff I haven't fully updated yet. I want to show you guys how to do this in real time, right? But one of the key factors that we take a look at typically is like how many words of content are on the homepage specifically. Typically, we recommend about 500 plus words. Again, it's got to be quality, right, in order to meet Google's standards. And then you have the title and the description. So the title is essentially Google saying, hey, Adam, what is it that you want to be ranking for? Like, what is that main keyword that is most important, and where are you going from there? So we use tools to figure out what keyword is being searched the most. And this is the keyword that is being searched the most here in St. Louis. So that's what we have as our title. And then people will also search in holiday lighting. So I have that on the back end. And then what I do is I take that main keyword and then I write it out into sentence format down here in the description to take it one step deeper. So again, Google understands where I'm located, what I'm trying to do, and how I'm trying to grow my business. A lot of people don't have these two things tied up, or if they built the website or somebody else built the website, they don't have these things updated with the proper research data and intent behind it in order to make it successful. So any questions on anything I just touched on right there?
No, but it's a lot of very important stuff that when you're dealing with your company, whoever your SEO company or building a website, that like they pay particular attention to this. And if they're not, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities. So those are very, like, I've heard this repeatedly from multiple different companies. How it's placed and everything, the word content. To follow up real quick, let's just jump back. She want to know about specialized content for each area. Because you said for each city, you want to have different content, not having like JC's Christmas lights in Wilmington, North Carolina are the best Christmas lights ever. JC's.
Yep. So like, and I'll just kind of run back here. So like, you'll see like Oakville, which is a suburb. You want to have like Oakville specific content. So like a little bit about, like, this is just an example, right? You could do it 100 different ways, but like a little bit about Oakville, Missouri, just different content than the Webster Grows page. So you don't want to like copy and paste page to page and just have like the same content over and over again, because Google will ding that as duplicate content.
And Michael had the same question, so I think that answered Michael's question. Matt said we literally just had this talk about adding Christmas lights. Matt, have you done it? You going to? What are you doing? Let's talk Christmas lights.
Yeah. Yes. So again, we're getting really deep in the weeds here, but just some very key things, especially to think about if you're in a competitive market and you're really trying to get more, is Google has on every single page. So all the stuff that we're talking about right now, you do on the homepage, obviously first, and then you duplicate this for all the other pages that are on your website. But that H1 header is going to be super important because, again, it's a way for Google to understand where you're located and what you're trying to do. So my best practice is typically go deeper than what I did right here, but put the location at the forefront. And you're only supposed to have one H1 header. So for example, like this is St. Louis Christmas Light Installation Company. And I'll update this for you guys in real time to show you a little bit more about like specifically how to update these things if you have access to your website or you're building it and why. But that's where you go deeper on all of these different things. So like, for example, I'll take this H2, for example. This is residential Christmas light installation. Right now, it's good, but Google doesn't know if I'm in St. Louis or if I'm in North Carolina like you, JC, or if I'm Miami. So what you have to do in order to get super, super effective with this, and again, I'm just going to show you how I would do it in real time or exactly what I'm looking at. And this is going to get a little bit technical, but I think, again, it gives a good picture of what is most important. So I'll go down here and I will edit this specific section, and I'll just change it to St. Louis residential Christmas light installation. And you'll see over here it's tagged as an H2. I will then update that, and we'll go back and we'll see that it's quickly updated by Google's standards of what they're looking for to get the most out of our website. So we go back here, we analyze the on-page SEO content. Let's pray that it works. It does. So those quick little changes, again, we're getting super, super deep in here. But again, this works for any industry, for any type of website that you're at. This is where you beat the competition when you're just getting started, right? From there, you can go and update all these things. There's a bunch of cleanup, again, I need to do. The other main thing is tagging your pictures with alt text. Mm-hmm. So Google does not understand videos. They do not understand images. They don't understand any of that stuff. You have to literally be able to tag a photo and be like, hey, Google, this is a picture of a Christmas light installation company in St. Louis, and or whatever, keyword you're trying to go after. So I'll literally go over here, and ideally you're going to update this like as you're putting it on the website, so you're not having to go back and do all these things. But I wanted to show you guys specifically like what this exactly looks like. So I'll just take one of these pictures. I believe this is on the homepage. So you can literally do, St. Louis Mo Christmas Light Company, and should be good to go. Let's see here. I don't know if that's saved or not, but we'll see. See if that works. Yep. So then we'll go back to the homepage. And if this was on the homepage, which I believe it is, you should see that it updated. Well, one of these images must not be here, but you'll see. Let's just see. Okay. Let me go to that photo just to show it in real time.
So you've got a couple different other options in there while you're editing it. Do they all need to be updated or just the top one?
So ideally all of them, right? So if I go back here and I do this, you'll see that it went down to 8. So ideally all of your images are going to have alt text, because again, this is just your way of getting more out of your website and putting it to work the way it should. So this gives you the ability to like add this stuff in here. So Google's like, okay, well, this is a picture of a Christmas light installation company in St. Louis Mo, versus there's no title on it, right? So a lot of these things are like just firepower to do whatever else you're doing in order to like get more out of this. But yes, to answer your question, like you could just do one by one. I mean, yes, you could do one by one. You can do them all at the same time, but like they're all important if they're there. If Google's recognizing them, you want to have them updated and optimized.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Like when you type that in, there's 5 other options, I believe, for text. Like
oh, got it. You're talking about like right here in that section?
Yeah.
So like that one, for example, like right here, all these other ones.
Yes.
So yeah, you could go, but like really what they're looking for is this alt text.
Okay.
So like if we were going super, super deep, but like 95% of websites don't even have like that stuff done. So like if you just start with this and then build off of it, you'll be in a really good spot.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's a lot of the stuff that I wanted to go over, specifically on that. The other thing is like making sure your URL structure is really, really tied in. So for example, like Oakville Mo tied back to this URL. A lot of times I'll look at websites and it'll be like the best company in whatever. And the URL code is a way for you to get more keyword structure out of your website as well in a variety of different aspects. So this is just kind of like another thing that you could do in order to get more out of it. Just make sure that like when you're adding pages to your website and you're doing all these different things, there's not some crazy sub URL on it.
Love that stuff. So we talked about having different cities.
Yep.
And do the cities that you want to work in. Don't just do a city you don't want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the content. Keep it different. Keep it diverse. Keep it fun, though. I mean, you've got some really good pictures. Now, for a company that's just getting started and they're just getting into the industry, they have no pictures. What do?
Yeah. So I just got a bunch of stock photos. Like, again, the idea is over time, when we did it with our auto glass company, is like, you just got to get something to get started. So like we buy the stock photos on our websites and things like that. I guess you could also ask for people, I've seen that happen as well. I don't love that idea. You always want real photos, right? That's a question I get asked all the time. I don't have any right now. So we're kind of just using with what we have, but over time, we'll update this if whoever's taking the leads or if we build this into a company, we'll update that with those things. And we always recommend doing that.
Well, I'll get you a drive tomorrow if you want photos.
Well, I'll definitely take you up on that.
And one big thing, though, is like don't ever just go steal photos from another company's website. And I've seen it so often where they'll hire somebody that's, just a cheaper option. And they'll say, hey, I like this website, this website, this website. And then all of a sudden you have an identical website with the same photos, the same content. I had that happen to be somebody that was about a couple hours away who was an industry pro. And I'm like, dude, why are my photos on your website? He's like, oh, I just told him to make it look like yours. I'm like, well, no, they made it mine. Like, so, ask for to use the photos, ask to use video. Actually, speaking of video.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So is video good to have on your main page?
So it is if it's a compressed file. A lot of people want like the videos and all that stuff on there, but they upload them in super big formats and it just slows down the site speed. So you like want to have it as long as it's appeasing Google, right? So you just want to make sure the file structure is good. You want to make sure it's compressed. You want to make sure it's not like so slow or so big that it's causing a slow website. That's the last thing that you want. Okay.
And then where would be the best page for it?
So typically, like a lot of times, like a welcome video of like, hey, this is JC with Christmas Lights of STL, blah, 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 blah. Like that would be a good spot for it as well as like the About Us page. Hey, this is a little bit about who we are. This is what we do. This is where we're located. This is who we serve. Those types of things is super beneficial as well.
Good stuff. Good questions, Michael. And then Caitlin's got another question about stock photos.
Yep. What like specifically?
It says, does Google not prefer the stock photos?
Yeah, so Google's smart, right? So they're going to understand that they're stock photos. But when you do it like correctly with this type of detail, like it's better than just throwing photos up there that like don't have some of this stuff. But if you go side by side, right, and you're like, I'm doing it the right way with a regular photo, and I'm doing it the right way with a stock photo, Google is going to reward and understand a true photo just because of the way that it's uploaded.
Great questions. Good questions. Keep the questions coming, guys. We and girls, it's good stuff.
So
all right. So
one of the things I just wanted to touch on as well is like Again, I'm just getting started with this Google business listing too, but I got the Google business listing verified, got some photos that I've already uploaded that are just waiting approval and things like that. But really getting the most out of your Google business listing is done in a variety of different ways, kind of like what we talked about. So making sure the profile strength is all the way green is going to be huge. The only thing I'm missing right now is those photos getting uploaded, but it'll tell you if you click this complete basically complete profile thing. That's the only thing that I'm missing right now. And again, once they get verified, I'll be good to go. But you can kind of see everything. Okay, great. I can go add more. So if I'm taking a look at the profile just in general, right? And I want to go to edit that profile, some key things that you're going to want to make sure you have down there. So the business name, of course, right? You want to make sure that the business name, the address that you use to get that Google business card, and the phone number are consistent across. If you have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, if you get all of these citations that are out there that'll help get your listing and information out to more places, you want to make sure that they're all consistent. So like sometimes somebody will have like a Christmas Lights of STL LLC as their Google business listing name, but then on Facebook, it'll be like Christmas Lights of STL. Google is looking for you to have more profiles in more places in authoritative spots, but like making sure that you're legitimate and making sure that it's not like this off the cuff company that was just done overnight. I mean, of course, like I'm literally doing this right now, but it's for intensive purposes, right? I'm intentional about it, but that's where they're going to like start to flag stuff potentially and not rank you as well if there's discrepancies across all of your stuff. When it comes to Christmas light installation specifically, and you're making a separate Google business listing from your main company. So let's say you have pressure washing and this is your other thing, right? I see Christmas store, lighting contractor as the two main things that people are doing. I go and what I say is like success leaves clues, right? So I did a Google search for Christmas light installation, St. Louis. And I'll typically see like, what do some of the top overall companies have? Well, 2 out of the 3 of them have Christmas store. And then when I went to all of the other ones as well, like most all of them had Christmas store. There's a variety of lighting contractors, things like that, lodging, random stuff. I thought, okay, this is probably going to be the easiest way for me to get some access into all of this stuff.
Adam, are you sharing? Are you trying to cast this onto the screen? Because we still see the website. I don't know if you're trying to show it or not.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay. So I was going over here and sharing this tab. My bad.
You're good, man.
Yep. So when you're taking a look at the Google business profile, again, you just want to make sure that the profile strength in and of itself is strong and complete. So the only thing that's waiting for is approved photos for the Google business listing, logo, etc. Now, when you're coming into the profile in and of itself, again, you want to make sure that this business name, for example, is consistent across those other profiles. I selected the business category as Christmas store because when I took a look at that first page of Google, 2 out of the 3 Christmas light and holiday lighting companies had that as their main service, right? And then you have some lighting contractors. So that's not super important. That's just what I decided to choose. But then you want to have your description there, obviously phone number, website. This is a new feature that Google just added to where you can actually add your social profiles in here, which is huge for SEO purposes, but also brand awareness and people just seeing, crap, they're everywhere. They have all these different profiles. They must be legit. So that's super important. Obviously, having your individual service areas as well as overall business hours of operations, having all of that stuff there, those are going to be some of the key things. In addition to posting, again, at least once a week if possible, and just updating the profile and responding to reviews once you get those reviews.
Awesome. Now you got me looking at mine and seeing like if I did it right.
Yeah. Any questions on that Google business listing?
No. So photos are key though, right? Just getting quality photos while on the job sites. What else are some like good things that they could be doing to posting for Google to say, yeah, like this is a good photo. We want to post this.
Yeah. So I always tell people like the consistency aspect is huge, right? So if you go gangbusters and you're like, all right, I'm going to add 20 photos today and make, 5 posts this week. And then you don't make another post or add another photo for 5 months. Like that is worse than just doing like one post a month or one post a week. You want to be consistent, whatever that cadence might be that you choose, right? There's also things where you can like come in here and add an update about the business. So, hey, we just started our first round of Christmas light installation. Contact us for more information or to get on the schedule. You can create offers. So like, hey, we're doing 10% off if you sign up with us before November 1st. That we have seen, it gets an uptick with SEO stuff as well. Like it typically gets shown, it will expire at some point. But those are just some things that, like, if we're talking about getting more out of the profile and doing things differently, that's beneficial. Also turning on your messages. So turning on your messages, so then that way if people are messaging you and wanting to do it through the Google business listing, you get access to, in real time, people messaging you, all those types of things, and you can turn on all different types of notifications.
Awesome. All right, I got a couple more questions here for you.
Yeah.
Would it be smart to go to Google Suite website or just stay with your main one?
So Google Suite website, I'm assuming I'm confused by the question, but they might be asking, should I just use the free Google website that is out there and available or get a new one? I always recommend WordPress for a variety of different reasons. If not that, then Duda. The free Google business website or the free Google website, it's good. It's just going to be an online brochure more than it's going to be a lead generator, meaning you're going to have to hand out more business cards, put more signs out there, kiss more babies, shake more hands, or run paid ads in order to get eyeballs in front of the traffic.
All right. Do you need to geotag your photo or just post the photos?
So yeah, that was one of the things. I know we're kind of running out of time. I got about 10 minutes left, but like you can also geotag your photos and get them up there, which is kind of a cool thing. So you can literally come in here and go start now. For example, I can upload this. Oh, I bet I'm not sharing the screen, am I?
Nope.
And this, I'm always used to what do you call it? Zoom, I think, where it just automatically goes. So can you see my geotag right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like, all right, the reference to this is like, all right, I have an assignment. I have a project. Am I going to look at every single detail and check off every single SOP, every single box, things like that? That's where like most people just don't get this granular with this stuff. But I could literally go right here. For example, I'll upload like this photo from earlier. And I don't think I have the paid version locked up right now on this, but different email. But I can go find St. Louis. I go, all right, we're here in St. Louis. This is a pretty good area of where I might be trying to get some business here. I'm going to go and I'm going to type in that keyword. So Christmas light installation, St. Louis. This is a picture of a Christmas light job in St. Louis, Mo, for example, whatever you want to type in, right? And then it writes these EXIF tags, and then you do a download, and then you rename that photo in your computer drive to this, and then upload that photo. Now, there's a lot of mixed information that's out there, depending upon which SEO person that you talk to, or if you read Google stuff, they'll say, hey, they've started to extract the data of being able to geotag them. We still do it a lot of times, but it's hard to say right now if it does it, but I know it's worked in the past. So again, it's kind of like if Google has acknowledged it at one point and it's not hurting anything, then you might as well give it a try. So that's just one thing I would add.
And all great stuff office staff, especially virtual assistants, can be doing for you.
Oh, yeah. Like all of these things, again, like that's why I wanted to go super in depth. And I'm building out, just so everybody that's listening, and I sent a little bit over to JC, I'm building out kind of like that PDF, or not PDF, but like a Google Doc that I'll send out over the next couple of days once I clean it up and get a bunch of stuff done. So then that way you guys can have like step-by-step what you can be doing in your own business. Just so that way you guys know what can work, right? So I know there's a lot of different information we talked about here today. There's a lot of stuff that comes with this, and it can be very confusing. So I'll try to be as helpful as I possibly can. And I know JC can send out this stuff to you guys as well. I can too. I did just want to show one thing real quick because I thought this was super interesting. Again, a lot of people will launch websites and they'll be like, all right, where am I ranking? Where am I doing all of these different things? Like, this is not working, right? And so a lot of people and a lot of agencies want to show you keyword rankings because they want to basically be like, hey, you're ranking for this keyword on the first page of Google. When in reality, they're not telling you that search intent is searched one time a year by somebody that's not interested in doing your stuff. So you can manipulate all of those reports. Google Analytics is good, but if you're going to also take some time to set up your website, make sure you get access to Google Search Console. It's free to set up. You link up your domain. And again, this is not, I just launched this site a couple days ago, so you're not getting all of this stuff. But it was really cool to see just in a couple of days that the website already got 41 impressions. And what this means, and it'll tell you like where the clicks came from and all that stuff. But what this means is that already in just 5 days, that somebody in my area or has typed in some type of keyword, and they could potentially be out of the country, right? But most of them are coming from this country, that has typed something in and our stuff has already came up. So you're seeing like St. Louis Christmas lights in St. Louis, like a lot of the keywords that have search intent behind it. This is even one of those suburb pages right here that will actually lead to intent at some point. Now, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that need to be done, but you can also see true average position. And this is not some marketing agency fluffing up a report. This is Google telling you, hey, this is where you're at right now for this. So I literally ended up doing a search just to kind of see like, all right, man, like how cool and how accurate is this already just 5 days in? And not that it's anything crazy, but I think we were already on, again, nobody's going to come down this, but I'm already ranked number 49. And there are people that actually do, like people that have had websites out a lot longer than me that are actually ranking below. And I just launched this website. And you'll see that this is like a sub page of that main page, which is why I'm going to rank ahead because I'm treating it as its own business. But like crazy, like some of these companies have literally been around for for years doing this stuff. And like I followed what we do for our clients to a T, and I just did it, and it's like already starting to get. Now again, we got to see the phone calls, we got to see the other work and things like that. But just to show you like end to end in less than an hour, what you could be looking for, what you could be doing in your own business to really get you in a good spot this year, but like really set yourself up for success next year and not be worrying where these leads are coming from.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, you put the work in, you did it right. You didn't skimp out on anything. You made sure to pay attention to all the details, the headings, the subheadings, making sure that you have the different cities with different content, the alt text for the pictures. Little things go a long way when trying to build out that web page. So that's why it's important when you hire a company, and don't just think you're going to do it on Wix tonight and have a ranking page tomorrow. You're an expert in the industry right now, and you're already at 49. In what you said, a week or two weeks?
5 days.
5 days. So that's incredible, and I really can't wait to come back here next year and just see how much you've blown through everybody that's been doing this for years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun.
So a couple more questions real quick.
Yeah.
Jeremy is trying to verify his Google. He changed the address. He's waiting for them to verify. I'm waiting for them to respond because I can't verify via video. Any suggestions?
So, yeah, it's a tough process right now. So video verification, they're really cracking down on that. And so to be honest, there's not like a right way. I saw somebody just do verification the other day and they didn't even have to do that. So it kind of just depends on that. If you change the address, so it's already been verified and you change the address, but there's no storefront, that's a really, really tough one. Feel free to shoot me a message offline and I can see kind of where things are at, have our team potentially look into it for you and things like that. But that's a little bit of a tough scenario.
And then Vincent said, I've yet to find a marketing agency to actually send me in reports.
If I had $1 for every time I heard that, I wouldn't be in business. I'd just go sit on a beach somewhere.
Mine are sent automatically every single month. So, I don't know. Why don't we go talk to Adam? He's right here. Reach out to Adam, Vincent, and I'm sure he'll take care of that for you. So you don't have to worry about that every month. All right, Adam, I know we're running out of time. You've gone through so much. Is there anything else you want to talk about real quick before we take off?
No, I mean, I think, just treat this as its own business, as with anything, right? Like you will, the grass will be green wherever you water it. And if you're trying to go cheap or get by or do all these other things, you're going to get what you put into it, or you're going to get what you pay for. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go to this marketing agency because they're offering something super, super cheap. Like, again, think about who you are as a business and what type of customer you're trying to attract. And if you want to put out something like we talked about today, you're going to attract those higher quality people. And really specifically with your website in Google, it's one of those things where people typically wait to the last minute if they're going and finding you from Google, and they've already exhausted hey, I posted, organically on social media. I asked Susie down the street who she's using. They're typically in that buying mode, and I'm sure you've seen it as well. Whereas with like Facebook or other things, you kind of have to have them as a pattern interrupt, where you kind of like have to like interrupt them and be like, no, hey, here's what I'm doing and here's why you need to do business with me. Where it's like, let's figure out a way to get front and center when people are at their buying decision point that is also going to give me the best profitability in my business too. Cause obviously you gotta be profitable doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just one piece of the pie, but it's a very important piece of the pie. I'd say, I don't know the numbers offhand. I don't want to spit out some numbers, but I know that internet leads coming in is our highest percentage overall of yard signs, trailer wraps, referral marketing, social media, all that stuff. So it takes the biggest chunk of our pie for all the leads that we have coming in. And it's so important to make sure you take care of that, nurture it, baby it, and don't just say, I'll just sprinkle a little bit of Christmas snow over here and watch it grow. But it's not going to do it by itself. So you got to invest the time, you got to invest the money, you got to hire the right company, and don't just sit there and wonder like, why am I not on page 1? It's been 3 years. I mean, you're showing it. You've been 5 days and you're on the way to success with that. So Adam, anybody who wants to get some more information, find out about your company, how can they reach you?
Yeah. So you can go to HiteDigital.com. That's HITE digital.com. Connect with me on Facebook. Not very many Adam McChesneys out there. Instagram, Adam L. McChesney, or you can go to AdamMcChesney.com.
Awesome. I'm going to drop that in the link below. Do you have any parting words for it? Let's say one last thing, something that they can start doing today just to be more effective throughout the season. We talked about a lot of good stuff, the pictures, the alt text, the things like that, the geotagging.
Yeah, I would say like just get very, very intentional about what your goals are for this season, right? So we talked about some stuff that will compound over time, but take it in bite-sized chunks and just start to implement. Even if you have an existing website or your Google business listing, hey, I'm going to start with 1 post this week, 2 posts next week, and build off of it from there. People get these goals and they see these crazy numbers and they're like, man, Christmas light installation is so easy. X, Y, and Z business is so easy. I'm just going to get there, but they don't actually put the plan in place in order to get there, right? So they got to put the plan in place. They got to be super, super intentional, and they got to take it in bite-sized chunks in order to reach what they're trying to do.
Love it, man. Love it. All right. So for everybody watching, be sure to, get in contact with HiteDigital.com. And for any questions, you can find them on social media. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Adam, thank you so much. I really want to check back with you at the end of the season and see how you're ranking on that.
Yeah.
And you said you got that PDF that you're going to clean up and go ahead and share that to everybody.
Yes,
but
sir.
Please be intentional with what you're doing. Get your office managers to start doing these things. Get a virtual assistant to put all these things that Adam's talked about in place for you. The posting, the social media, all these things will have long-term effects for your company. You may not see that immediate impact this year, but I promise you, if you start taking the steps now, next year, you'll be ranking and you'll be a brand authority in your location. So Adam, thank you. To all our viewers, thank you. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Appreciate you.